Presentation, we'll be talking about MindSphere, the cloud-based open IoT operating system from Siemens. Now, we all use our mobile devices, such as smartphones, tablets, to use our apps, to synchronize our calendars, and we do this on a regular basis. But what about the things that basically run the world? What about how do airports work? Trains, airplanes, machines, hospitals. How is that all connected? Well, for this, we use something called MindSphere, the Internet of Things, the operating system, which we'll get into now with our experts standing aside. Please welcome with a big round of applause here are Sebastian Wolf and Matthias Lutz.
So, very good morning. Good morning still, yeah. My name is Sebastian. I'm the marketing manager for MindSphere, and actually I should be not alone here on the stage. Matthias should be with me.
Oh, sorry, Sebastian.
You're a little late.
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
So,
hi.
What happened? Why are you late?
Sebastian, you remember last Hannover Sphere? I was talking a lot about drives, machine tools. I had right now a very interesting discussion with a Chinese brewery.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought brewery, beer, yeah, great. We had a good beer tonight, yesterday night. And he said, okay, listen, can I connect my entire brewery to MindSphere, to an open IoT operating system?
Hold on. So, he was asking to connect a whole plant, a whole brewery. Is that right?
Yeah, it is.
So I remember last year when we were here for the first time with MindSphere, here at Hannover at least, we talked about machine tools. We talked about connecting little assets like a motor or a drive or any kind of these things. So what has been going on?
Yeah, in 1 year, a lot of things happened. 50% of the worldwide data has been generated in the last year, and only 0.5% have been used. So a tremendous potential.
Okay, I remember last year when we spoke about it, we said about 3.5% of the assets are only connected to MindSphere. So this sounds even less now. True or not really true?
Yeah, so a lot of more customers are approaching us and saying, okay, I want to connect. So it starts in every industry. So breweries, airplanes, everything will be connected.
Okay, that's crazy. And what I also found very crazy is a number that I got from yesterday, because just during the day while we were here at Hannover Fair, another 5.5 million devices were connected to the IoT. Isn't this crazy?
Yesterday, 5.5 million devices were connected to the Internet of Things, to platforms. Isn't that amazing?
So let me get this right, Matthias, because I mean 5.5 million devices every day. How is this even possible?
Yeah, digitalization is changing everything. It's changing your industry, it's changing our industry, it's changing the world.
Okay, so and you find a lot of things here at the booth actually at Siemens to learn more about digitalization, right?
So the whole Siemens booth here is somehow connected. I found motors, I found a charging station for electric cars. We see here a whole dairy line, a dairy filling line for dairy products connected to the Internet of Things. So amazing things are connected, and actually it's not only about connection, it's about the value add out of those things.
Okay, you're talking about connection, but I think we'll come to that in a second. But where or what are they connected to? What is it called?
It's MindSphere, the open IoT operating system from Siemens for the things that run the world.
Okay, an IoT operating system. So I know operating system from my smartphone. I know operating system from my computer. Is this something similar?
Yeah, a bit bigger, Sebastian. So everything starts with connecting a real thing to the Internet of Things. So connecting, it's, yeah, when you plug in your smartphone, it's a USB cable. We at Siemens have a whole connectivity suite. So here at the Siemens booth, you see a lot of Siemens hardware already connected to MindSphere.
So this 5.5 million devices that get connected every day, so a part of this is our equipment. But how do we connect, Matthias? I mean, I can imagine this is quite difficult.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's not that easy. But imagine you can connect a device, plug and play, an industrial device. And that's what we are showing here. at our booth, you see, for example, a dedicated IoT gateway called MindConnect Nano, a little box PC. You can plug it in into your machine. You plug it in into the internet, and it's connected to MindSphere, a little device. Just very easy.
So how long does it take? I mean, plug two cables and then?
Yeah, so I would say within an hour, you can connect a filling line to the platform, including setting up the data model. It's amazing.
That's really amazing. So what else? I mean, okay, we have the Nanobox, that's the one thing. Any other connectivity elements that we have, Matthias?
Yeah, of course. So what I really like, our Simatic line of products. And if we talk about PLCs, Simatic PLCs, I always refer to it as the nervous system of a machine, of a brewery. And what is a nervous system doing? It's processing data and it's sending processed data to other devices, your brain, for example. So the data is already there in our Simatic devices. And we provide today and in future a lot of Siemens hardware with a built-in MindSphere connectivity. So you can use the data right out of your PLC to set up a data model and to connect it to the Internet of Things.
Okay, Matthias, but you were saying this is an open IoT operating system. So you've been talking about a lot of Siemens stuff now, but this doesn't mean it's open.
Yeah. I don't know, Sebastian, if you have seen the little motor at our drivetrain part of the booth. It's a motor, it was built in 1900, and it was sent back by the customer 90 years later. Said, okay, it has done a good service, here you have it for your museum. So in many customer applications, factories, we have a very, let's say, brownfield approach. So if you or any customer has a, let's say, brownfield device or a third-party device, we bring in as well the ability to build a own MindSphere connector. We call it MindConnect Library, a software toolbox you software developers can use to set up a own MindSphere connector in each and any hardware device. So open
to
system.
sum this up, we can connect all devices.
We can connect all devices, and I'm sure tomorrow, when we are standing here again, I found a couple of other devices which will get connected to MindSphere soon.
Okay, that's really great stuff, Matthias. But okay, so finally the brewery is connected, and this was the discussion I guess you had before. So what happens next? I mean, the machines are online, we have the data within 1 hour, but then what's the next step? What is happening with the data?
Yeah, it's not only about collecting data and storing data. There's only a limited value add. But in the discussion yesterday, and I think everybody can relate to beer, the brewer told me, okay, imagine my brewmaster knows when the filling line is likely to break hours before. It ensures your beer supply, Sebastian. So
which
that's
is
great,
important to me.
Yeah.
Okay, so how does it work? How does he predict? I mean, you're talking that he can predict things in the future. So he's using the data from the machine, put them onto the platform, and he's analyzing the data, I guess. And then
Exactly.
What about apps? Does he have an own app for that?
Yeah, he has an own app for that. For example, it's all, when we're talking about IoT, the start is always to make your assets, your machines, the filling lines in the different breweries visible in the platform. So therefore, we have a nice app called the Fleet Manager. The Fleet Manager allows you to locate your assets, to see your assets, to put it in a hierarchical order. So that's the start, Fleet Manager. It visualizes data, data points. But that's not all. So I've seen as well an app for the dairy industry. And very cool, the possibilities are, let's say, without limits. I've seen something, Build My Dream App workshop.
Okay.
So you can sit together with our MindSphere experts and, let's say, think about new business models, think about new app ideas, think about maybe new data intelligence modules, and you can build your own app based on our open IoT ecosystem, MindSphere.
So I could develop an application myself?
Yeah, maybe tonight we can sit together and start our first concept. Then we think of a data model. Then we buy this nice little book, Programming Apps for MindSphere or the IoT, and we can start it, Sebastian. Great.
Well, that's really cool. So I believe if we have a beer and we have a genius idea, we make this app a success and we can distribute it. How is this going to work? I mean, where can our customers find the applications?
Yeah, what I really like about MindSphere, the open IoT operating system, it enables a whole ecosystem of different players, app developers, partners, which you find here in our MindSphere Lounge. And on MindSphere, we will provide an digital exchange, an app store where you can distribute your, let's call it, brewery app, where others can find apps, so like an app store, where you will find pretty soon hundreds of possibilities to drive your performance in your factory, to come up with new business models. And we are showcasing here around 50 new apps, and they're really great apps for different industries. For example, paper industry, for brownfield applications, apps for machine tools. So you really see how the App Store is growing for MindSphere.
Okay, so Matthias, we learned that digitalization is changing everything, and there's a lot of information here at our booth. I get the feeling somehow that MindSphere is changing everything too, and that this is the right IoT operating system for our customers to use.
Definitely. MindSphere is changing a lot, and you really can see it like from trade fair to trade fair, how, let's say, creative ideas are coming up, how new applications are coming up, and how new things are getting connected, which I even didn't thought about it before.
Okay, that's great. So, and if you want to know how you can connect your assets to MindSphere, how easy it is, we showcase this here right below our MindSphere Lounge. And in the MindSphere Lounge, we have another 150 presentations talking about everything that is related to digitalization and, of course, MindSphere, not only from Siemens, but also our partners. We have a strong partner network you find up in the lounge. So come visit us there, and then hopefully, Matthias, we have with all our customers tonight a Chinese brewery beer, because we ensured the plant is operating and the brewery can produce beer. Okay, with this, thank you very much for your attention, and see you hopefully in our MindSphere Lounge. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you also, Sebastian Lutz and Matthias Isabel.